Pork is a popular meat item here, and if you imagine pigs wallowing in the mud, well, just wait till you see what I found on a swine farm in Missouri. The computers, the monitors, and high-tech equipment might make you think you're in California's Silicon Valley, or maybe a government nerve center in Washington, D.C. But believe it or not, this is the Chin family hog farm in rural Clarence, Missouri. And while you may be familiar with seeing pigs in outdoor pens on the family farm, shouldn't they just be out running around? Shouldn't they, for whatever lifespan they have, at least be able to kind of run free?
Well, you know, the reason that we house them indoors is so that we can control their environment. We've been able to prevent a lot of diseases. By housing them inside, we have eliminated the need for antibiotics. Everything we do on our farm revolves around the comfort and the care of our animal. So we work really hard to protect them from the elements of the weather. When it's 100 degrees out here on our farm, our sows are inside in air-conditioned buildings. It's the coolest place on our farm.
Chris Chin's family has been in the pork producing business for 5, make that 6 generations. But with increasing feed and fuel costs, the Chins found themselves at a crossroads. They needed to adapt to survive. In total, the Chin swine farm has about 35,000 pigs, requiring 450 tons of feed each and every day. To mix and load all that feed, they had been using this old labor-intensive feed mill, and it could take up to 2 hours to load just one truck. No way they could keep up. So to stay competitive, they moved into the 21st century.
All I gotta do is just push this blue button.
Chris, what was wrong with the old feed mill operation? Why did you want to go to something like this?
You know, we wanted to go to something like this because we're more efficient this way. If our diet calls for 2,000 pounds of corn, the computer can get it within 5 pounds.
The computerized system automatically tracks and adjusts the feed of various groups of hogs, depending on the stage of development, and loads individual feed trucks accordingly.
We have quality control here, so we know exactly what we're feeding our pigs. All of our corn comes from local farmers in the area, and we know that they care about their crops just like we care about our pigs. So it's a good win-win situation for our entire community.
But while the equipment benefits were substantial, the change demanded a significant monetary investment.
It's not that our farm can really afford this. Our farm couldn't afford to not do this. If we were going to continue to be able to produce hogs in the future, we had to be as efficient as we could be.
This part of the Chin's operation raises pigs from birth, then ships them out to other farms where they stay until processed. So this is basically just a birthing facility?
Yes, it is. This is a breed-to-wean facility.
And you have how many breeding sows?
We have 2,400 sows on this farm.
Giving birth to how many piglets?
Well, we'll wean 1,000 pigs a week.
1,000 a week?
Yes, out of this facility.
You keep this place fairly well sanitized.
It's a very top priority around here.
Why is that?
Biosecurity is the #1 priority. The simple fact being that, you know, if we track disease in here, it can wipe out our whole herd.
Biosecurity isn't the only health and regulation issue faced by livestock producers these days. Environmental concerns have forced producers to deal with cleanliness inside and outside of the barn.
Well, we are very concerned about our environment because we live and work right here with our pigs. One of the biggest concerns is runoff from a hog farm. There's this big misconception that if you have a hog farm that you have effluent running down the ditches, and that's not true. We're regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency and our State Department of Natural Resources, so we're not allowed to let that happen. We actually monitor daily rainfall. We test our soil, and we test our nutrients before we inject them into the soil as natural fertilizer.
This pond is filled with manure from the pigs. It goes from here to farm fields as organic fertilizer.
We planted our acres around us in wheat and alfalfa because wheat and alfalfa can better handle the nitrogen from the effluent from the hogs, so it makes a better fertilizer, and the alfalfa is able to use that better. So it's using our natural resources much better.
And Chris says the farm's collection ponds stand near fishing areas used by the family.
We are a permitted facility. We have a permit from the Department of Natural Resources and the Environmental Protection Agency. So our lagoon had to meet their standards before we could build it. It's not something that you just come out here and do. There are strict guidelines that we follow.
Chris Chin believes that farming offers an opportunity to meet consumer needs while enjoying a lifestyle as good stewards of the land.
We're the happiest out here working with our animals, caring for them, making sure that they're comfortable. That makes us happy when we know that we're doing everything we can to care for our animals. Our kids are out here on the farm every day with us, learning some great morals that they're going to grow up with and take with them throughout their lives. So this is heaven for us.